Good day, everyone. My name is Arthur Maxapal II, and today we have a beautiful human being. We have the myth, the legend, Jayden, Jayden Ford. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, I'm good. What's up with you?
Hey,
Great.
I'm great too. I'm great too. So Jayden Ford, he is a track athlete on the college collegiate level. He runs the 400, the 800, and the 1600. He is a mass communication major with aspirations to really be a positive and insightful voice for the African American community at large. Uh, and he also had protested with his mom at Lafayette Square on uh, on June 1st, 2020. Um, so can you kind of take us to like that to that moment? Um, that was like the day when Donald Trump had held the Bible up.
Yeah, so it was that day where a whole lot of protesters were protesting right outside the White House, and there was a curfew that day, so we was all supposed to leave technically around 7. A whole lot of people knew about that. They knew that things would probably get hectic at 7, and so we was doing we was doing chants, no justice, no peace, trying to like be rowdy in front of him. And then all of a sudden it was like 6:30 and it was, I guess Trump got tired of being in the White House, so he made us, pretty much it was 6:30. We still had 30 minutes left till curfew. My mom, she was going inside one of the buildings that was pretty much destroyed, and all of a sudden I was like yelling at her because I was like, Mom, don't you hear that? That's the bullets. That's tear gas. And she was taking pictures in there because it was like a whole lot of, I guess, memories, because there was a whole lot of graffiti things that she was like taking pictures, and I was like, she was not paying attention to anything. So I had to literally drag her out of the little building because, like I said, they were just going crazy, and like it wasn't. I don't know why, what the purpose was at that point. Like we was all within our rights to be there, and they decided to start being aggressive.
So like let's kind of like backtrack. Like how was it on the way to the protest with your mom? Like kind of take us like in that car ride or that bus ride, that train ride, however way you guys got there. Kind of take us on that journey like toward to the protest.
On the way to the protest, so, well, me and my mom drove, but we couldn't get too close, of course, because police blocked off a lot of the close areas. So we had to walk at least 10, 15 blocks. On our way there, a lot of we saw a lot of damage to DC, and it was kind of funny because if you looked on the street, if you looked at any car and it had like a Confederate flag or it had a Confederate license plate, it was destroyed, and they like spray painted it with racist on all those cars. So like it was definitely a sight. I've heard it was like this in the 60s, in the 60s riots, but to experience this for myself, it was definitely something new to me.
Mm. And so while you were there, was there anything that happened or that anything that like you saw that was unique or obscure to you while you were there?
Like at the protest.
Yeah.
When I was at the protest, I wouldn't say it's unique because it's a lot of people. This happens a lot of Black Lives Matter protests in DC, but it's kind of funny to me how like diverse it is. Like
Hmm.
I'm 90% sure there was a lot more white people than there was even black people. So it was
Wow.
definitely it was definitely something. Like I said, it's not unique because most Black Lives Matter protests are like that, but it's kind of funny to see how many are will actually come out, for us in a situation like this. Like a lot of people know about the situations, and
Hmm.
they actually make the sacrifice to come out. So
Right.
yeah,
How was the ride home?
the ride home. Well, the ride home was when we found out why we was getting kicked off early. So it was more so shock between me and my mom, just like listening to the news, seeing him on Twitter, the things that was going down. So yeah, it was pretty much more so shock than anything. We was talking about how we like enjoy being interviewed, but it was like, did all this really need to happen for a picture? Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think that protesting is important?
I feel like protesting is important because you need to make sure that your voice is being heard by the government. So I believe that when you protest, you have to be loud enough that they can hear you. Like, I know a lot of people dislike the idea of disruptive protests and things like that, such as, blocking streets, being in front of the White House, being disruptive overall. But I feel like protests are important so you can be heard. So if they're not going to listen to you, you have to make sure that you put yourself in a spot where they have to listen to you sometimes. And while it might not be convenient for them, if they want it to be convenient, they shouldn't have put us in a bad situation.
Did you prepare to go? I mean, I know that like you guys had like the mask and you guys, had like the water bottle, but aside from like the physical things, how did you prepare like mentally or emotionally or psychologically?
Mentally, mentally, I was just kind of sort of mad. So that was my preparation. Like I was kind of ticked off pretty much most of the day, being on Twitter all day. That's back when that's all Twitter was, seeing all the new situations and stuff coming out. So, and the day before, my cousin was on CNN for he was a part of the riots that were going on, and seeing him, he did an interview for CNN, and he didn't really say much, but like he was talking about pretty much how the daily life struggle that he goes through and how it's continuously being ignored. So I was like, I felt that, and I felt like I wanted to go out there and also be a part of it. So, yeah,
Do you see like a difference between like protests and riots, or it's just like the way that people use the words?
I feel like it's the way people use the words. I feel I feel like anything that becomes disruptive, they call a riot because they're trying to give it a bad name and they're trying to take away popularity from what's happening. Like I feel like yeah, it could be they'll call anything a riot because they don't like the idea that people will go out against what's comfortable for them and what's comfortable for their protest, their idea of protest.
Yeah. I know that like you want to go into this field, so I don't want to like um tarnish reputation. So I'm gonna be careful on how I ask this question. Like with the protests, quote unquote, and riots, quote unquote, um, do you think that like mainstream media and major news corporations report on protests accurately?
Not at all. Not at all.
Like how so? Like why do you say that?
I mean, there's a lot of situations that you see pop up, and then later on, you find out what happened and beforehand. Like a lot of the real riots that happened in Minneapolis, and then you saw actual people who weren't a part of the protest being the ones to start it. You see a lot of like with the police, whole lot of police before they go into shooting rubber bullets and tear gas. You see them dancing and kneeling, and sometimes I feel like it's a whole facade, which you see on actual news websites a lot of the times.
Yeah. Just like to keep your reputation clean. Has there been like times on on mainstream like news where you think that it has been accurate?
I mean, I'm sure it's been accurate, of course. They accurately I feel like without the media, George Floyd's death in general wouldn't have been as what's the word for it? It would have been as exposed to the rest of the world if it wasn't for mainstream media. So
Mm-hmm.
of course, media helps because it helps expose things, but it's like sometimes most corporations have an agenda with what they're doing, is what I believe.
What? No, okay. So before I ask this question, I want to preface it by saying that um, systematic racism and oppression due to white supremacy probably will not go anywhere during the rest of my lifetime. However, um, in the pursuit of ending systemic racism, what can we do to end systemic racism in our society?
That's that's actually a really hard one because we've been fighting for this idea of systematic racism end for so many years. It's like, what can we try? We try politicians now. We can't. It's hard for us to even vote. I know. I'm not sure if you heard in Georgia, they were spending
Yes,
their entire day trying to get them to
entire
vote,
day. Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of funny because it's going to be switched up, and they're going to turn that into Black people don't vote. So it's a whole lot of systematic racism. It's hard to fight against that when it's like the entire system is in a way against you. So um, I guess the only way that we really can fight against systematic racism is keeping up the energy that we have now. I feel like that was a major thing about you remember the Trayvon Martin case?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't anywhere close to this level, but it was the biggest thing. I heard Rodney King was just as big, but Trayvon Martin was like huge for me because that was the first time I saw like pretty much most of the United States going up in arms, protesting type stuff. So, but I feel like the problem with that was that once the verdict came out, and like within a month, it started to die down, and then
Mm-hmm.
it became like pretty much Trayvon Martin became
Old news.
all news. It became a debate point pretty much, just talking about we had to bring somebody up. But I feel like the actual protest for Trayvon Martin really died down really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I feel like the George Floyd thing, it still has a lot of pace, and I feel like right now we still have a lot of momentum. Even though that is, I feel like mainstream media attention is dying out, you still see so many people outside protesting each and every day. So
Absolutely. That is my biggest concern with the movement is that it will die down significantly, kind of like after the civil rights movement and after a lot of our leaders were assassinated. Um, a lot of things died down, and so that's that. Like things died down after the civil rights movement in like 1955 to 1985. Um, things died down significantly after that time. Um, and now we're seeing like a even higher spike, right? But I don't want it to go even lower than how low we were in like the 80s. Um, and so that's my biggest concern. Um, is that we become extremely comfortable and complacent because maybe like things open back up. COVID-19 might get like a vaccine or something, you know what I mean? And we might get to something where like, okay, we're just happy to not have COVID, da, da, da. But it's like, no, 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 we're still getting killed by the police. We still have systematic racism, you know what I mean? So um that's my biggest concern as well, is that like, you know, people just become super relaxed afterward, and we can't have that. We have to always agitate for a better society. Um, so this is going along very quickly. So, because like I'm gonna ask my last question. It's I'm in like 30 minutes. So this is like the shortest conversation, but like this is potent, man. You're really giving some really good answers. I'm glad to get your perspective on these questions. Um, I want to preface this question by saying that like um like even though we are like exhausted and we're tired and some of us are fearful of our lives, um we can still be excited because we can still um write a new future for our descendants. And um, what keeps you hopeful that our descendants will live in a better world?
Mm, honestly, the idea. I mean, honestly, we still are progressing, even though it's been very slowly. But we've been progressing, and every day, not every day, but like we get from a better place where things are being exposed. Like pretty much the update in technology really helps me think that they're gonna have a better future. Because
Hmm.
because imagine all this without technology, without phones, without videos, we wouldn't. I
Be
doubt it
swept
would,
under. Yeah.
exactly no one would have heard about anything. So it gives me hope that as time progresses, with all these types of technology that we have within us, we won't be able to let injustices not be exposed, and it would definitely be out for the world to see what's actually going on.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of my hope for the descendants, I guess.
Wow. No, no, like that's unique. I mean, I haven't heard somebody say uh that type of answer for this type of question. I mean, I haven't heard anybody say anything about technology or focusing on technology in their answer. Um, so yeah, if you're watching this or listening to this, look up a black owned tech company that teaches black children how to do technology things. So that we know how to code, we can make our own robots and things like that. Um, because systematic racism teaches us that uh, we just start off further, like our starting point is further back than like white people's starting point. Basically, that's basically how it works. Like even like when you're born, there's a whole bunch of statistics. Even there's even statistics for female immortality rate for black women that's higher than any other demographic. So even like while you're being developed in the womb, there's already statistics to against you even making it into the world. So um, we already have like steps back while we're even being formed in the womb, and technology is a way for us to to uh, to push up that starting point. Um, and then also, I mean, for our Republican and economists and capitalist listeners, um, like teaching like our black children about technology and about coding and things like that will help it will help our economy and help the nation be more competitive on like a worldwide scale. Because other countries are learning coding in like high school, like middle school. So yeah, I remember I was learning my multiplication tables when I was in like second grade. So yeah. So anyway, um we're going to keep this episode short because I usually like go on a whole sermon, like a whole tangent at the end. But I want to give you the last words. So do you have any last words for anyone who would like to learn more about these topics? Anybody who would like to support the cause, not just Black people, but just people in general that would like to know more information or that would like to support the cause of black excellence and going against police brutality and injustice.
I feel like the best thing you can do is try to be out there. Like, I know there's a whole lot of petitions. I know there's the Black Lives Matter Foundation, which honestly has been questionable what they're doing with our money. I'm
Mm,
not sure. But all of those things, they might sound nice, but I feel like the one major thing that can really help is really being out there. Because when you're out there, you're adding to the numbers of people who are against the government. When you're out there, you're like increasing the population. When you're out there, you're making sure that it doesn't die down.
mm.
So being out there is like essential for us to be able to end police brutality, so they know that this isn't just a wave, this isn't just a thing in the moment, and that we are actually about this and we are actually trying to fight and change the rules and laws for police so they can't have these type of rights to do whatever they want without any type of repercussion.
Absolutely. How can everybody reach you as of right now?
um I have an email, I guess. JD, not, no, that's wrong. That's Jayden. I don't know why I said that. It's Jayden Z.T forward at gmail.com.
So Jayden and then Z as in zebra.
Z.T forward at gmail.com.
Oh, Z dot T and then forward
Yeah,
at Gmail.
yeah.
All right, cool. All right, y'all. So y'all heard it first from Jayden Ford. I really appreciate y'all listening. Y'all can comment and like or whatever, subscribe if y'all want to. But what's more important to me is y'all reach out to Jayden and really thank him for the insight and him contributing to the podcast and all that. Um, I mean, if you like the video and all that, then that's kind of supporting the YouTube algorithm. So that's fine. I rock with that. I want more people to listen to it. But what's more important is you reaching out to Jayden and just giving him that encouragement, especially as like a black man in America. We definitely need that. You know what I mean? So we love you. We appreciate you, Jayden. We're excited for like your future at Prince George's Community College. Um, one thing that I'm gonna say really quick about Prince George's Community College is that like the people that care about you at Prince George's Community College really do care about you. Like I like my experience there, and like I'm gonna say this like while we're recording so that everybody can hear it. While I was at Prince George's Community College, like it was like two types of people, like from like the staff to the faculty to the adjunct to the administration. Like there's like two types of people. There's people who really like really care about your future, and there's the people who are just there for like a check. You know what I'm saying? And you really want to latch on to people that really care about your future because those people will like go out of their way to help you. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many resources that people don't recognize that are at Prince Community College. Um, and uh, it is like I don't want to say that like you should take advantage of them. You have to like if you go to Prince George Community College, you have to in order to like be successful because a lot of those things that I learned at Prince George Community College, I'm still using right now. You know, to finish up my bachelor's degree at Morgan State University. Um, and so we wish you the best. We know that you're going to do excellent. You know, I'm always here to support you, to pray for you, to give you resources, to research with you, to study with you, to listen to you, to give you a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always here to support you. You know what I'm saying? You're like my brother. So yeah. All right. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Yeah. It's so awkward because like this is like kind of short. But yeah, I love y'all. Peace.